go 3, 2, 1.
Boom! Welcome to today, May 15th. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver, brought to you by BossShotShells.com. May 15th was a day that will live in infamy. No, it's not. May 15th was a tough day on events. So my event for the day is a story that came out about a young lady who died of cancer. And they did a documentary on 2009 on NBC, and it debuted today. She was the hot chick of my generation. Every kid had her poster. Some of them had 2 or 3 of them.
2009?
No, that's when the documentary come out from her. Her poster was come out in 1976 or 77.
No, I know that. When did she die?
She died in 2009 is when she died. And this story about her came out, and her cancer came out in 2009. The documentary NBC did on her. But she died in 2009. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
The Heather Locklear?
Nope.
Is she dead?
Nope.
She's not dead?
Nope. She went to the University of Texas. Was on in a show called Charlie's Angels.
Farrah Fawcett?
Yes. Have you ever seen Farrah Fawcett?
Yes, I have.
Farrah Fawcett was a beautiful lady.
I'm trying to think if Heather Locklear's dead. I thought she
No,
was.
Heather Locklear just looks dead. Farrah Fawcett is dead. Anyways, Farrah Fawcett arrived in Hollywood at the age of 21. She went to the University of Texas. She was born in Corpus Christi, Texas. When she got to Texas, she was named one of the 10 prettiest women on campus. First time it happened to a freshman ever.
I don't see what's all appealing about her.
Huh?
Not my cup of tea. Her eyes are too big.
You're so full of shit.
Telling you.
She was a beautiful lady. Oh, my God. She was a smoke show.
I don't see it.
Well, then you're blind. Fucking Ray Charles could see she was good looking. That's how good looking she is.
I don't see it.
Anyways, the Charlie's Angels series was her big claim to fame. That started in 1976 in September of 22nd, and she was one of Charlie's Angels. After a series of legal battles over her contract with ABC, Cheryl Ladd replaced her on the show, portraying Jill Monroe's younger sister, Chris Monroe. Anyways, her husband, Lee Majors, was a star of an established television show, ABC's $6 Million Man, which was they were married for a long time. They had money and fame. Anyways, and she did some other movies. She did Somebody Killed Her Husband. She was in Sunburn. She starred with Kirk Douglas in a Saturn III. And the following year, she starred along an ensemble cast, which included Burt Reynolds, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr. in the comedy Cannonball Run. There was nothing great about the lady. She was just a good-looking lady, but every kid that was born in my years growing up, from about 76 to 80, everybody had a Farrah Fawcett poster. And I don't know how. She was
probably hot for the time, but she's not even a...
Andy, when you see Margot Robbie play, what's the girl's name in the Charles Manson murders?
Sharon Tate.
Sharon Tate. Margot Robbie's a beautiful lady. Sharon Tate was just as pretty. I mean, you just a different look. You don't think so? So you think women are prettier now than they were in the 60s and 50s and 40s and 30s and 20s? No,
100%.
Farrah Fawcett would have been good looking in 20.
I'm looking at pictures of her right now. I don't see anything.
The pictures, they don't have everything fixed up like they do today. They don't glamour shot everything.
Well, I'm just saying the pictures that I see of the women today, she'd be mid.
Natalie Wood, Farrah Fawcett.
God rest her.
And tons of those ladies would be good looking today if you put on. Look at Pam Anderson. You've seen her without her makeup and shit on.
She's 65, Jeff.
Well, I understand that. Anyways, Farrah Fawcett died of cancer. Anyways, that was my person. Anyways, there wasn't a lot that happened today, but today NBC.
But what did she do today? I don't understand.
Her documentary came out today, and she died.
2009.
Yeah, and she died about a month later.
Oh,
that was all it was. There wasn't nothing happened. It was a very, very slow day for shit going on in the world. I can tell you that much. Okay, my person that died today.
Not Farrah Fawcett.
No, Farrah died in June. You're making this hard on me today. I'm telling you, there was no events that happened today.
I'm fine with that.
My person that died today, we were struggling on the death deal too here.
Uh-oh.
The Miami Dolphins won a Super Bowl the year that they were the perfect score. had the perfect record.
Right.
In the Super Bowl, they beat my Washington Redskins 14-7.
What? Repeat that.
They beat my Washington Redskins in the Super Bowl 14-7.
Okay.
The game was out of control, 14-0. They go in to kick a field goal to ice the game. The kicker is getting sacked. This bad snap. He grabs the ball. He panics and he just throws the ball up in the air, and the guy hits him, and the Redskins pick it up and run it for a super touchdown. Made it 14-7 in a game that was dominated by the Miami Dolphins. The kid's name was Garabed Sarkis Garo Yepremian.
Mm-hmm.
And he was an American Cypriot American football place kicker who played in the NFL for 15 seasons, primarily with Miami Dolphins. During his 9 seasons with the Dolphins, Yepremian led the league in scoring. In 1971, he received 2 Pro Bowls and 2 first-team All-Pro honors and helped the Dolphins win 2 Super Bowl titles. Yepremian's first championship victory in Super Bowl VII occurred as a member of the 72 Dolphins, the only team to complete a perfect season. He also played for Detroit, New Orleans, and Tampa Bay before retiring in 81. He was the last kicker, or the last player in the NFL to not wear a face mask.
Wow.
And he was playing, and he didn't want to wear a face mask. Well, you don't want to do that.
No.
And so, anyways, he was playing against Green Bay, and Ray Nitsky, who was the Packers linebacker and was supposed to be mean as hell, he ain't going to wear a face mask. I'm going to break his fucking nose.
Did he?
Oh, yeah, that's what he did. During one of the early games with the Lions, they were losing but scored a touchdown in the last 10 seconds of the game. Yepremian was sent in to kick the extra point. He was so excited about converting the point that he was running off the field with his arms raised in celebration. Alex Karras asked, "What the fuck are you celebrating? You're a kicker." So anyways, then one time he made a famous phrase on the Tonight Show. He said, I kick a touchdown. So anyways, he didn't know much about football. He could kick. His brother had moved here from wherever the hell they were from, and Cyprus. That's Greece, I guess. And his brother kicked in college, and he tried on, and that's how he started kicking. And he started kicking in minor league football games and got an NFL contract and played for a long time. And Yepremian is best known for 2 feats. You know what the longest football game in the history of the NFL is?
Like time-wise or amount of overtimes?
Both.
It's got to be something with this guy.
Yes, it is. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Dolphins played in a double overtime game. It's ending the longest game in NFL's history and sending the Dolphins the AFC Championship game against the Colts, which the Dolphins went on. Kansas City and Denver and Miami were probably the best 2 teams.
I don't even think you do double overtime anymore unless it's like a playoff game. You would have to
in the playoffs. This was in the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
And he kicked a 37-year-old field goal with 7 minutes left in the second double overtime. So they basically played a game and a half almost. That was his first. That's the first thing he did. He kicked the game to win it, and then was the play in the Washington Redskins 14-0. Yepremian was set to kick a field goal with slightly more than 2 minutes left, which would put the game out of reach. The field goal attempt was blocked by Bill Brundage, and Yepremian managed to get to the ball before any other player did, because Yepremian's feared injury from a pile-on. I mean, he would not. When he wouldn't wear a face mask, this is a shit. He would kick off, and the coach would say, "Run to the sidelines immediately," so nobody would pop him in the freaking head. So he was scared to death of getting hit. Anyways, Yepremian feared injury from a pile-on. Instead of just falling on the ball to preserve the Dolphins' 14-0 lead, he picked it up and frantically attempted to throw a pass with Brundage bearing down on him and growling at him. As a result, the ball slipped from Yepremian's hand and went straight up in the air. Yepremian then attempted to bat the ball out of bounds, but instead batted it back up in the air, and it went right into the arms of Redskins cornerback Mike Bass, who returned it for a touchdown. The Dolphins managed to hold on to win 14-7, thus completing the Dolphins' undefeated 72 season. Yepremian later joked to reporters after the game, "This is the first time they go to the game is in the winner's locker room." Anyways, that was Garo Yepremian, who died on this day. Now, gotta find out who my person that was born here is another. It's a football deal today for some reason. He is debatably the greatest running back to ever play the game.
Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, Warwick Dunn.
Warwick Dunn?
Yeah.
Whoa. Where the hell did you get
Barber?
No.
Marshall Faulk.
Marshall Faulk would be on that list. Emmitt Smith would be on that list. Walter Payton would be on that list. And you've named him.
I did?
Yes. He was born in Pensacola, Florida.
It's got to be Emmitt Smith.
Emmitt Smith was born May 15th, 1969. He played in the NFL for 15 seasons, 13 of them as a Dallas Cowboy and 2 seasons with Arizona. He
Those
is
are
the
the
league's
forgotten years.
Yep, he is the league's all-time leading rusher, but he's never mentioned as one of the greatest running backs ever. Nobody ever thinks of him.
Yes, he is.
No. If you name the top 3 running backs of all time, Emmitt Smith's name hardly ever. He's never won. Barry Sanders has always won.
I guarantee you, Barry Sanders would have loved to have had Emmitt Smith's career.
Oh, he would have had 30,000 yards rushing probably if he would have.
The best.
Because Emmitt Smith won Super Bowls. I'm not taking nothing.
And he's got the Russian titles.
But that's what's amazing about it. He does have the Russian record, but he is never mentioned as the number 1 running back. If you go on the street,
but if you say the greatest,
if you go
he's listed.
But if you said name your top, write down your top 3 running backs, greatest running backs of all time.
Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders.
What is it?
Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders. In no particular order, but if you said, give me the 3 greatest, those are the 3 names you're going to spit out.
What about Jim Brown?
Nah, no. They only played like 10 games.
He was an amazing. What about O.J. Simpson?
Played 12 games.
Great running back though. But I'm just saying, Emmitt Smith. I'm a Cowboy basher, but Emmitt Smith was a hell of a football player. Great, one of the best ever. As I said that coming into the deal. But he's never number 1 on anybody's list unless you're a Cowboy fan. He's never number 1. If you just took a random person that follows the Seattle Seahawks or the San Diego Chargers or whoever the hell they are now or whatever, and you said, name me the greatest running back ever, write it down, Barry Sanders' name's going to come out 9 out of 10 times.
Debatable. Might be Sean Alexander. If you're a Seahawks fan.
Jesus Christ. What about Kurt Warner? What was Warner guy that played there before him?
I don't remember.
It was his last name was Warner. Yeah, I can't remember his name now. Anyways, Emmitt Smith was born in Pensacola, Florida. At the age of 8, he played his first organized football game on a team that's sponsored by the Salvation Army. He attended Escambia High School in Pennsylvania, where he played high school football, ran track. During Gators' high school football career, Escambia won 2 state football championships during Smith's, and Smith rushed for 106 touchdowns, 8,800 yards, which was the second most yardage in the history of American high school football at the time. Emmitt rushed for over 100 yards in 45 of the 49 games he started for Escambia, including the last 28 in a row. Twice he broke the 2,000-yard rushing mark in a season. In track and field, Smith competed as a sprinter and was a member of the 4x100 relay squad. For his efforts, Smith was named the 1986 National High School Player of the Year, including USA Today, Parade Magazine, and Gatorade. In 2007, 20 years after Smith graduated from high school, the Florida High School Athletic Association named Smith its all-century team. Despite his accomplishments and accolades, some college football recruiting analysts opinion that he was too small and too slow to succeed in major college. Recruiting expert Max Emvinger didn't list Smith among the top 50 high school running backs in the high school class and opened that Emmitt Smith is a lugger, not a runner. He's not fast. He can't get around the corner. When he falls flat on his face, remember where you heard it first. So anyways, in 87, Smith accepted his athletic scholarship to attend the University of Florida, where he played for Coach Galen Hall's Gators for 3 seasons. He did not start the first 2 games of his college career, but made the most of his opportunities in his second week route of Tulsa. He gained 109 yards on just 10 carries. In 88, the Gators got off to a 5-0 start, with Smith averaging over 120 rushing yards per game. However, during the 6th contest, he was sidelined with a sprained knee, and Smith was unable to return to action for a month. In 89, Smith stayed healthy throughout the year, and he finished his campaign with Florida records for rushing 1,600 yards in a single game, or in a season, 316 yards in a single game, longest rushing play 96 yards, career rushing yards 3,928, career rushing yards per game 126.7, and career rushing touchdowns 36. Then he got drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, considered drafting linebacker James Francis, who went to Baylor and was a stud, with their first-round selection. But after he was taken by the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cowboys focused on improving their running game, when Smith started dropping, because despite his collegiate success, some NFL teams felt that Smith was too small and slow for a pro game. The Cowboys traded up with Pittsburgh Steelers, moving from 21st to the 17th pick in exchange for a 3rd-round draft. Even though he missed all of the preseason after having the longest holdout by rookie in franchise history, he was able to start 15 games and rush for 937 yards and 11 touchdowns. And he was part of the fearsome Dallas Cowboys offense. Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman.
The trio.
Yep. And Jay Novacek as a tight end. They had a hell of a team. Hats off to him. Not a Cowboy fan, but have to give a lot of respect. He was a great running back. I don't think he's the greatest ever, but he has the most yards, and that's one record I don't think that will ever be broken.
Yeah, well, we're getting back to the running game. NFL is. If you look at the trends,
That's a lot of longevity. You'd have to run.
Oh, I thought you meant like in a single.
Oh, no. I think someone will. He don't have the rushing record for a season.
You mean total?
Total yards.
How many years?
21,000. The total of rushing yards and receiving yards is 21,000 combined. Now he's not the all-time leading scrimmage. I think Jerry Rice is got the most. His second. He leads all running backs with 164 career rushing touchdowns, and his 175 total touchdowns ranks him only behind Jerry Rice. The total of rushing yards, receiving yards, and fumble return yards gives him a total of 21,654 yards from the line of scrimmage, making him one of four players: Jerry Rice, Brian Mitchell, and Walter Payton. He's NFL's all-time leader in rushing attempts with 4,400. The only player to post 3 seasons with 19 or more touchdowns, and the record holder for most games in a season with a touchdown in most games in a season with a rushing touchdown of 15. So, anyways, he was a. I mean, you can't bitch. I mean, you can't say you can't argue about how great he was.
Derrick Henry is the only active player.
18,355 yards. I don't think nobody that's 18,000 yards. That's 1,500 yards for 12 years. Okay, Derrick Henry's got what, 3 years left in him, maybe?
He's 31, I think. 31 or 32. He's a freak. So.
Look at Uncle John, number 20, John Riggins, 11,352, and set out for a year or two. I think that I just don't see anybody. Derrick Henry, if he has 3 more good years, that's another 4,000 yards. That's going to put him over the 15,000 mark. That's going to put him in the top 4. Barry Sanders retired. Barry Sanders had another 5 years left in him. He would have set the record forever. But ifs and buts, if your aunt had a dick, she wouldn't be your aunt.
I mean, like I said, Derrick Henry being the only one is.
I just don't think anybody will ever beat that record. Yardage in a season, I could see that happening. But the longevity with running backs, because they get beat up so much.
Yeah.
And the game's different.
Yeah, a lot more passing.
Well, back then, too, if you were the lead dog, you carried the ball 9 out of 10 times. They didn't bring committees in. No, they didn't have third down backs.
You were 1, 2, 3, and 4.
If it was 3rd and 3, you ran the ball. Now, if it's 3rd and 1.5, they throw the ball.
Yeah.
So it's a different game. But anyways, that's Emmitt Smith. May 15th was not a very exciting day. I can tell you that much.
Cowboys get the Eagles start out the year.
I saw that, and then
kicks off the season September 4th. And
then San Diego and Kansas City play in Brazil that Friday night. Oof. I'm assuming they're going to start the year out with a division games the first game, because those are both division games, and those are interdivision.
Oh, nice.
So I'm assuming everyone's going to have a division game the first week, maybe.
I don't know. Schedule releases
tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we're recording this. Yeah.
Oh, what day is today? Anyways?
15th. So it'll already be out when this is coming out, but we're a day ahead. Comes out the 14th.
Okay, yeah, it'll be the 15th that all come. I mean, on the 15th, all of this will be news, anyways.
Yeah.
So
anyway, all right. That's May 15th.
May 15th. Thank y'all for listening to us. God bless you, and have a great week.
Goodbye.